When an ordinary American turns on the evening news, what chills them isn't crime happening somewhere far away. It's the sight of the very streets they drive every day suddenly turning into battlegrounds, where one reckless decision can cost innocent lives. And that's exactly what happened on an afternoon in April 2024, when a young man on a Suzuki DRZ400 treated public roads like his personal stunt stage and traffic laws like optional suggestions. He pulled wheelies through a crowded intersection, rode onto sidewalks, weaved between lanes as if he were in a Hollywood simulation, and ignored every command from the Georgia State Patrol. To many people, wheelies and quick lane changes may look entertaining in viral videos. But for those on the road at that moment, parents with kids in the back seat, elderly people crossing the street, or workers heading home after a long shift, it was sheer recklessness, a danger to the entire community. What made the situation even more tense was the fact that just hours earlier, a deputy sheriff, whose wife is pregnant, had been shot in an unrelated incident, putting the entire law enforcement community on edge. And then, right in the middle of that tense moment, another reckless individual forced the system into high alert. When troopers activated their lights and sirens, many expected the young rider to stop. But instead of complying, he accelerated and shot up onto the sidewalk, continuing to ride as if he were immune to consequences. Within seconds, the chase escalated into chaotic mayhem, stretching across neighborhoods, intersections, private parking lots, and even areas marked as no-turn zones. He rode into oncoming lanes, slipped between cars, stopped at red lights, made sudden, dangerous U-turns, and used every corner of the road to shake off pursuing officers. This was no longer a minor traffic violation. It was high-level endangerment of public safety. And as the chase spread into the lanes of I-285, the danger wasn't just to the patrol units. It was to hundreds of innocent drivers moving along the highway. For years, Americans have debated whether police should chase motorcycles at all. Police departments in each state follow different chase policies, but experts agree on one thing: pursuing motorcycles is far more dangerous than pursuing cars. A motorcycle is too small, too agile, and too unstable at high speeds. Even a minor tap can be fatal, and worse, the rider can be hurled into another vehicle or pedestrian. This raises the critical questions highlighted by the video. Should PIT maneuvers be used on motorcycles? Should police pursue a reckless rider only for traffic violations? Or should officers let the suspect flee until he eventually makes a mistake or runs out of gas? Every state, every city, and even every police agency answers differently. But one thing is clear: a single reckless rider can place an entire community at risk. Officers attempted to box him in, but each time a patrol vehicle got close, the rider swerved sharply, sudden left turns, bursts onto sidewalks, squeezing through gaps barely wide enough for a bicycle, or ducking into private parking lots to escape. These actions didn't just anger people, they exposed a deeper issue. If someone only needs to accelerate to escape law enforcement, what meaning does the law even hold? Many viewers questioned whether police should have pursued him at all, or opted for safer alternatives. But officers also know that if they give up, suspects will believe they can always outrun the law, a precedent that could spread across the country. In the end, the chase didn't conclude because of trooper tactics. It ended because of the suspect's own mistake. While crossing a divider on I-285, his front wheel caught on a raised traffic island. The bike stopped abruptly, he lost balance, and the chase was over in an instant. An off-duty deputy sheriff, who happened to be nearby, immediately jumped out of his vehicle without waiting for commands. With the speed and precision of a rugby player, he tackled the suspect, knocking him off the motorcycle. The move instantly sparked controversy. Many praised him as a hero who prevented a potential tragedy, while others argued it was excessive force, lacking procedural safeguards. But either way, the suspect was subdued within seconds. His identity: Stephen Ferguson, no license, no insurance, no plate, and a history of violations. The incident reignited one of America's most heated debates. Are aggressive police tactics saving lives or creating new dangers? Supporters say that without action, reckless riders will continue terrorizing public roads and putting countless lives at risk. Critics argue high-speed chases only escalate danger, turning streets into war zones and endangering innocent bystanders. In reality, America has witnessed hundreds of fatal crashes linked to police pursuits, from major cities like Los Angeles to suburbs in Georgia, Florida, and Texas. This case once again forces Americans to ask, in a vast, diverse nation filled with differing views, where is the line between protecting the public and abusing authority? Once Stephen Ferguson was taken down, the story didn't end with one reckless biker captured. It opened a much larger conversation about how America handles high-speed pursuits, especially those involving motorcycles, a vehicle increasingly used by thrill-seekers to challenge the law. Many experts point out that street takeovers, illegal stunt riding, and motovlog police chase culture have spread rapidly in major cities like Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, Los Angeles, and Chicago. Some groups even treat being chased by police as a badge of honor, posting the footage on TikTok or YouTube for millions of views. This puts law enforcement in an impossible position. The more they pursue, the more riders feel encouraged. But if they don't pursue, the streets become lawless playgrounds. To understand the problem fully, Americans have begun reviewing similar incidents from the past decade. In Florida, a Yamaha R6 rider once hit 160 miles per hour on Interstate 95, weaved between semi-trucks, lost control, and died instantly. In California, a group of stunt riders going the wrong way on Highway 101 forced a family's SUV to swerve and flip, injuring 2 children. In Texas, a 19-year-old fleeing police on North Freeway struck a pedestrian and killed him on the spot. These tragedies show how a single impulsive moment can shatter an entire family. This is why many people viewed the Georgia deputy's tackle not just as the capture of a suspect, but as the emotional release of years of built-up frustration. To them, he represented someone standing up for public safety with everything he had, even without a uniform or body cam. But civil rights advocates see something different: an out-of-authority use of force that could have caused serious injury, and a dangerous precedent allowing any off-duty officer to intervene without direct oversight. The legal debate intensifies as attorneys argue that tackling a suspect at low speed may be acceptable, but tackling someone still wearing a helmet and not fully stabilized could cause severe neck injuries. Civil rights organizations like the ACLU warn that uncontrolled physical interventions can lead to death, creating massive legal consequences. Others counter-argue that hesitation during a high-risk moment could lead to far worse outcomes.
Public frustration grows when examining Ferguson's blatant disregard for the law. No license, no insurance, no plates, and his refusal to stop wasn't a momentary lapse. It was a clear message that he was willing to risk other people's lives. Data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, shows that over 29% of motorcycle-related fatalities each year involve suspects attempting to evade police. This isn't a trend, it's a national safety threat. Residents near Candler Road and I-285 spoke out strongly. A woman from Belvedere Park told WXIA-TV, "We never know when these daredevil kids will blast through the street. Every time I hear a loud exhaust, I panic." An Uber driver who witnessed the chase said he had to slam on the brakes to avoid being hit by the DRZ400. "One small impact could have killed me or my passenger," he said. "It's insane that someone would ride like that in broad daylight." Retired officers add their own perspective. A former Atlanta PD officer stated, "If you don't stop immediately, you force police to chase. We can't let someone ride like they're invincible. They drag innocent people into danger. But I understand why the community is torn. The line between protection and risk is very thin. And that's the conflict America still struggles to resolve. Behavioral researchers note that many fleeing suspects experience risk intoxication, an adrenaline-driven belief that they can control everything. It's why they ride at 100 to 150 miles per hour and still think they're skilled enough to handle it. But a pothole, a puddle, or a car changing lanes can end everything in milliseconds. Social media makes it worse. Chase videos on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels glamorize evasion as cool or legendary. Many young riders gamble their entire futures for a 15-second viral clip. In Europe, especially Germany, the Netherlands, and the UK, police rarely pursue motorcycles in populated areas unless a serious crime is involved. The reason? Too many fatalities. But in the United States, a huge freedom-centric nation with decentralized law enforcement, pursuit rules vary wildly. LAPD has restricted pursuits after deadly crashes, while states like Texas and Georgia still allow them if suspects flee or endanger traffic. This inconsistency shapes how differently communities experience risk. Returning to the Ferguson case, many believe the off-duty deputy acted at the perfect moment. A driver behind him recorded the incident and said, "If he didn't tackle that rider, the kid would have jumped back on the bike and kept going." And on I-285, that could have been deadly. Truck drivers also supported the action, noting that wrong-way motorcycle riders create situations large trucks simply cannot react to in time. Still, legal experts insist America needs clearer nationwide standards for motorcycle pursuits. Proposed solutions include using drones, remote GPS tagging, coordinated containment strategies, or stricter penalties for evading police. Several regions testing these methods have significantly reduced fatalities. This incident also reinforces the value of personal responsibility. In a country built on freedom and individual accountability, obeying traffic laws isn't just a legal requirement. It's a moral duty to protect others. Ferguson didn't just endanger himself, he put dozens of people at risk. And as reckless riding becomes more common, law enforcement faces increasing pressure and scrutiny. Ultimately, this incident forces Americans to ask a bigger question. In an era where technology, social media, and speed make everything more dangerous, what kind of society do we want? One where police don't chase because it's too risky, or one where police must act aggressively to protect innocent lives? There's no perfect answer, but one thing is certain. If individuals place community safety above personal ego, we won't have to witness terrifying pursuits like this again. If you've made it this far, thank you. It means you care about public safety and the real issues happening on America's roads. These chases aren't just adrenaline moments, they reflect challenges our communities face every day. If you'd like more in-depth analysis, real stories, and honest discussions about justice, safety, and life in the US, don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with us for future videos. Thank you for your time. See you next time, and drive safe, and drive